Everyone, calling this meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. Welcome to the Auburn Unified School District Board meeting for January 21st, 2021. A quorum is established. All board members are in attendance. At approximately 8:30 p.m., the Board of Education will determine which of the remaining agenda items can be considered and acted upon prior to 9 p.m. and may continue all other items on which additional time is required until a future meeting. All meetings are scheduled to end no later than 9 p.m. Trustee Schwant, will you do us the honor of leading us in the pledge?
Yes. Alan, are we going to have the flag on the screen?
Yeah, Mario, I need the sharing rights. I'm disabled.
Ready to go.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we'll be taking a moment of silence. Dr. Musarino.
Thank you, Madam President. A member of our Albert family lost a loved one to COVID. In this employee's case, it was the third member of her family. And we know others within our organization and our community who have lost loved ones to this horrible pandemic. I would like us all to take 1 minute in silence to pray for the families of those who have lost loved ones, and of course for all those who have been lost. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Musarino, for that. We will now be moving to an update from the Ward 6 Council member, Jim Perry.
All right, thank you. President Vega, Superintendent Musarino, the board, staff, and everyone out there in virtual TV land. I'll spend just a couple moments giving you a brief update. Let me talk about the Magnolia Street widening, which I've talked about a few times. We're kind of entering the home stretch. We're a little bit behind because we're back ordered on some traffic signal equipment. And we're guessing it's going to probably be a completion date of maybe mid-February. But one of the nice things that are happening right now, we're actually working on the landscape. And if you drive down Magnolia, if it's not too crowded anyways, you will see a series of trees being planted. So those are going to be a series of magnolia and orange trees on the entire length of the project, which again runs from Buchanan to almost Tyler. So hopefully that project's going to go well. We're also installing brand new LED lights for the street. So when you're driving down there at nighttime, it's probably going to look like daylight. Being a little facetious, it should be so bright. You could probably land an airplane on that street at night. Probably shouldn't say that because you know how things happen when you happen to say things like that. But just kind of making a point on it's going to be a great roadway when it's all said and done. Next Thursday night is Mayor Locke Dawson's State of the City speech. This will be her very first one. She'll be laying out her goals and the direction the city will be going in the next year. But part of that program is the Keep Riverside Clean and Beautiful Awards. And there's a series of awards that are given. This side of town is going to see at least one of those. And that is going to be the Myra Lynn mural that's located right there by Myra Lynn Elementary School. So it's going to be recognized and the artist for a beautification award to our local neighborhoods. You may have read in the newspaper the other night, the City Council approved the Cheech Museum of Chicano Art and Cultural Center. If all goes well, we should probably see them taking over the building sometime this year. There's a lot of renovation work that needs to take place, at least $10 million worth. I mean, everything from HVAC units to new roofs and basically having to redo the entire interior. That building is rather old. It was built in the early 60s. And we have to transition the library that's there now into our new library that's located over by the Fox Theater. We had a chance to walk through there about a month ago, and it is going to be a state-of-the-art library for the city. It'll be multi-levels, and there's a lot of different activity and meeting rooms that can take place at that site. But it looks a little bit different depending on your point of view, but it is state-of-the-art and will be very, very good for the city. And I think everybody is excited to see the Cheech Museum open as soon as possible. If you've been downtown and perhaps on social media, when I mentioned downtown in some of the alleys, we have these decorative butterflies that are public art, and we use it to beautify the downtown. Well, that artist has a few extra of those in stock, and we are actually going to be bringing some of those out to this side of town. And we're working with a couple principals right now on putting them on school sites. One is Renma. I'm not sure if Diane Taylor knows that this is what we're going to be offering her. And if she's listening tonight, now she probably has a really good idea. And we're looking at one other elementary school as well. So kind of taking this popular art product that's downtown by one of our local artists, and we'll be able to actually have it out here on the west side of town. One of the businesses on the side of town that is going to be growing, they already have a large campus, but they're going to be growing a little bit bigger, is actually the Kaiser Permanente Medical Center. They are going through the planning process right now of adding a third tower to their campus there, and it would actually be closer to Magnolia. Parking is an issue for them, so to alleviate that, their property where it borders Castle Park, they're going to be adding a 4 or 5 story parking structure for them, which will help in some of the surrounding areas. It's in the planning process, probably a couple years before that is up and running, but it'll bring more jobs, and it'll expand the amount of services that Kaiser already provides. And Kaiser's a very, very good partner, not only with the city of Riverside, but with the Alfred Unified School District as well. Arizona's in the house tonight. One thing that I can mention, one of the improvements going on around Arizona Middle School, on Arizona, directly in front of the school, I want to say there's a crosswalk near the second cul-de-sac in, and I want to say it's Crestview. I'm not going to have the correct street name, but it's the second cul-de-sac in where there's the crosswalk. We are looking at installing some flashing beacons on there to help with some of the traffic, in particular before and after school. It may be a couple months to several months away, but that is in the works and taking place to add a little bit more safety to that street. One word about the homeless. I won't spend a lot of time on it, but one of the headache areas is that vacant gas station at Magnolia and La Sierra. I mentioned before that we are in litigation with them. We're actually going to be taking depositions from the owner of that property here the first week of February, trying to bring some resolution to that site. So hopefully we'll see something coming in the coming months. Something that I can just kind of say, but can't go into too much detail tonight, but the old Roadhouse Grill there at Tyler and Cole, there appears to be some movement on a new company moving in there. That's good news. Maybe just a little bit out of the school district area, there's the vacant Kmart up at Van Buren and Arlington. There is a planned project coming there as well that's making its way through the process. It'll take that Kmart store, subdivided into 3 different retailers. There's going to be a beautification program for that parking lot with some trails connecting businesses and some of the restaurants out there. Eventually, there's going to be an addition of 2 to 3 more drive-through restaurants up there as well. That's a very large site that needs some care and is going to start receiving it. So there's lots of things going on. There's also a popular eatery coming. Basically, I'll say on Magnolia, just a little too early to go into a lot of detail, but once we're able to share the information, I think people will be very happy with that restaurant that'll be coming as well. So with that, that's all I have for this evening. And as always, if there's anything I can do for any of you or anyone out there in virtual TV land, please reach out to myself or Sandy, and we'll do our very best to help you. So thank you for having me once again. It's always a privilege to be here.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Perry. Always appreciate you coming to our board meetings. On to public comment. As authorized by Governor Newsom's Executive Order N2920, dated March 17, 2020, the Auburn Unified School District will conduct all meetings of the governing board via teleconference until further notice. The meetings will be conducted via Zoom. Spanish simultaneous interpretation is available via the Zoom platform. All meetings may also be viewed live on our district YouTube channel on the day of the meeting and are recorded to be viewed subsequently after the meeting. Pursuant to Executive Order N2920, the governing board will take public comment. All public comments must be submitted in writing in advance of the meeting. Please submit your written public comments to superintendent@auburnschools.org no later than 9 a.m. on January 21st, 2021. During the governing board meeting, written public comments received in a timely manner will be read for the governing board. Pursuant to Board Bylaw 9323, public comment period will be limited to 20 minutes. Duplicative public comments will not be read during the meeting. However, all written public comments will be provided to the governing board in advance of the meeting. Dr. Musarino, at this time, is there any public comment?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I do have 2 comments that I will read. First, dear Superintendent, Cabinet, and school board members, I want to be the first to wish you happy National Mentoring Month. Mentoring energizes communities. It empowers youth to envision a brighter future. It unlocks new career pathways and educational opportunities. As your district partner, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Inland Empire celebrates with each of you the incredible potential of our district's youth and the mentors who are helping them achieve success and self-sufficiency. Our mentoring services we provide your students aim to be valued added resources to uplift homeless, foster kinship, and English language learners. Our goal is to support your efforts through creating and maintaining connection in this time of isolation, supporting students through social emotional learning, providing tools for mental and emotional support, all via a mentor. With a big brother or big sister by a student's side, we are proud to share that there's a 60% increase in school attendance, an 80% increase in 2 academic subjects, 100% refrain from criminal activity, and 100% this last year graduated high school. And 74% of those children were the first in their family to earn a high school diploma. Join Big Brothers, Big Sisters this month, celebrating with us the power of mentorship. Honored to be the executive director of your big brother, big sister, warmly, Jennifer O'Farrell. Isn't that wonderful? We love Jennifer and the work she's doing. Next comment. Dear school board, I am Juan Escobar, and you hired me as your maintenance worker 2 in December of 2018. I enjoy what I do and working with my coworkers. I have not had the opportunity to say thank you for allowing me and trusting me to be part of the Alvord family. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be part of Alvord and part of maintenance. I have a question for you. Are we out of funds to maintain our schools at Alvord? The reason I ask is that we have not been able to receive any parts since October. I've asked my manager and he has explained that it's out of his control, and he has tried to help us get our parts or get updates in regards to parts. He doesn't even know if we have a budget available for us to work with. It has been some time already that ordering parts is no longer in-house in our maintenance department. I believe this started approximately in March, around March. Parts have been ordered from the clerk in the KPC building. She did a great job ordering everything for us. Since October, I personally have not received any parts that I have ordered. I personally have 41 work orders that are pending, waiting on parts. The whole department has 250 work orders pending on parts. We cannot purchase any ceiling tiles. Roofs are leaking. We have so many windows in our district that have graffiti engraved on them. There are classes that need major work with Formica that will be glad to get done once we get the parts. Windows that have small cracks and need repair. We should not allow any schools to get this bad. It worries me that I see contractors all over our school sites working on projects and we don't have any funds for our department to make repairs. There was a simple job that we were doing, lead by our manager, that was terminated for us to complete and was given to outside contractors to complete the air scrubbers. We were doing a great part putting them together as a team. I understand there are protocols on some jobs, but the majority of small jobs should be kept in-house. We should never allow any areas of our schools to get bad enough to the point where we need to outsource, since we have a great team in the M&O department that is willing to do the job. We should invest in our department and in needed equipment so we can make our schools a better place for our children to attend while they are being educated by our Alvord employees. I'm reaching out to you so you could please get a hold of the bull by the horn and take control of this matter. The majority of your employees and my coworkers are proud to work for our district. We need this support so we could get our district to look like a top-notch district for our children. The children deserve to have employees like us and better. We need our vehicles repaired. Some of us are driving vehicles that need tires and brakes, and that is a safety hazard. Currently, my vehicle has 2 doors I cannot open with the latch. I had to rig the back door so I could open it with a rope. The other door I just struggle with until I could open it. I challenge you to go to your schools and take a walk and look around and ask yourself, if this was your house, would it be acceptable? I also challenge you to talk to the maintenance workers and trades that work at your designated schools and get their ideas on how to improve your schools or what they need to fix that you feel have been neglected for too long. We can work together as a team, as a district, for the best interests of the children that will attend our schools after this pandemic. I love being part of the Alvord family and thank all of you for your time. Juan Escobar, father, employee. That concludes public comments, Madam President.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Miserino, for reading out the public comments. We will now move to my favorite part of the evening, which is special recognitions. And tonight we have Arizona Middle School. So now I'll turn it over to Mr. Jeffrey DiUlio to give his presentation.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. President Vega, board members, Superintendent Miserino, cabinet members, guests, and staff. Thank you for allowing Arizona Middle School to be here to present on the many great things that are happening in Arizona, and also to recognize the many individuals that make Arizona great and participate and are part of the Arizona family. And so I'm very excited to get started. So I'll go ahead and present my screen so I can show the PowerPoint. All right, Mario, it says that I need permission. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to start off by thanking everyone for supporting Arizona with our campus remodeling. As you're aware, we've had many items that have been updated over the past couple years, from a new blacktop to basketball courts to new lockers, to the MLK Day of Service items, which I'll be talking about today. And none of those items could have happened without support of the Board of Education. And we've had many board members that attend many of our great events. Mr. Swan is a regular at our board events, and we enjoy having him there. I think his personal favorite was our In-N-Out Day, which I enjoyed as well. We also have had board members, you can see from the picture, at our MLK Day of Service. Ms. Wilson and Ms. Moreno were there helping us, as well as Mr. Enemaker and Mr. Duran, which was an amazing event that I'm going to talk about more today. Additionally, as well as thanking the Board of Education, I'd like to thank Superintendent Musarino, the cabinet members, Dr. Presby, Dr. Kemp, Mr. Enemaker, Ms. Navat, and I apologize if I forget anyone else, but thank you once again for your ongoing support of Arizona Middle School. Over the last couple of years, we've progressed a lot, and we've really beautified the campus and made it a home for the students. And without your support, we would not have been able to do this. So thank you very much. So I'm going to start with the recognitions. Our first recognition is Student of the Month. Arizona Middle School is proud to recognize Daisy Ingram as the Auburn Unified School District Student of the Month for January 2021.
Right. Woohoo! Yay, Daisy!
Daisy is currently in 8th grade at Arizona Middle School and is an extraordinary student who demonstrates positive character and leadership skills. Daisy is hardworking, considerate, and an academically sound student. She has earned a 4.0 GPA during her time in Arizona and accomplished all of this while taking accelerated classes in both math and language arts. Daisy is also in Arizona's ASB and serves as the lead anchor for the Arizona Weekly Announcements. Daisy's teachers state that she has a great work ethic, is self-motivated, always willing to help others, is a role model, and is destined for great things. She has accomplished all of these items while also socially promoting from the 6th grade to 8th grade this past school year. Daisy's demonstrated her tremendous work ethic this past summer by taking online courses and completing the 7th grade math and language arts curriculum to prepare herself to socially promote to the 8th grade. Her hard work has paid off, and Daisy has continued to excel in school once again by earning all A's in all of her classes.
Wow.
Daisy has a bright future ahead of her and will definitely make Auburn Unified, Arizona Middle School, and her family very proud. It is a great pleasure to honor Daisy Ingram as the Auburn Unified School District Student of the Month for January 2020-21. Congratulations, Daisy.
Woo! All right, Daisy.
Congratulations. Oh, congratulations, Daisy. Your work ethic and dedication does not go unnoticed. You were chosen out of every student in Arizona and the district, so just think about that. The board is very proud of everything you have accomplished so far and can't wait to see all the amazing things that you're going to do in high school and in your future. And no matter what happens, keep being your amazing self.
Very nice.
Madam President, may I?
Of course.
Daisy, why don't you introduce your beautiful family?
This is my dad. This is my mom.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
And my little sister.
Oh.
Yeah, one of them. The other two are my brother and sister are watching it. So.
Well, congratulations to you. And we know that without our partnerships with our students' families, we would not have the success that we have. So thank you to all of you. And Daisy, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay, our next individual that has been recognized is our Certificate Employee of the Month. And this is Miss Saw. And I do need to add before I start that I ask everyone what picture they would like. And this is the picture that Miss Saw sent me. So that just,
That's
this is
awesome.
Miss Saw. I love it.
That is great.
So Arizona Middle School is proud to recognize Minasal is the Auburn Unified School District Certificate Employee of the Month for January 2021. Mina has taught at Arizona Middle School for 11 years and currently teaches 6th grade language arts, 6th grade history, and is an ELD teacher. In addition to teaching at Arizona, Mina also currently teaches an ESL course at the Auburn Unified Adult Education School. Mina is currently the English department chair, is on the Arizona leadership team, and serves as a mentor teacher for our struggling students. As if that was not enough, Mina also serves as the unofficial Arizona technology expert. She has become a master at Google Classroom, Google Meets, Jamboard, and Pear Deck, just to name a few. She was always willing to assist teachers in new technology techniques and workarounds to make their classes more fun and engaging. It is no wonder that this year, the Arizona teachers overwhelmingly voted her as the Arizona Teacher of the Year. Mina truly loves and cares about the entire Arizona community and wants nothing more to see all students be successful. Both inside and outside of the classroom, Mina will do whatever it takes to create a bond with the Arizona students and families. It is a great pleasure to honor Minasal as the Auburn Unified School District Certificate Employee of the Month for January 2021. Congratulations.
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 Yay!
I think it's your son on the chat. I think he's very proud of you.
Aw.
Love that. It's clear to everyone here at the board and in Arizona that you go above and beyond for the students and even the teachers with tech and supporting them as well. So thank you so much for being a great role model to our students, and congratulations on being Certificated Employee of the Month.
Madam President, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
Because everyone can't necessarily see the chat. Well, first of all, congratulations and thank you for your incredible work. Yeah, there's a proud child who texted, "That's my mom on the screen!" Explanation. And how exciting is that? So we're equally excited for you and for our children. So thank you for your continued wonderful work. Very appreciative.
Congratulations, Mina. Our next person being recognized is our Classified Employee of the Month. And this is Miss Olivia Perez. Congratulations, Olivia. Here's some pictures of Olivia with her family. Arizona Middle School is proud to recognize Olivia Perez as the Auburn Unified School District Classified Employee of the Month for January 2021. Olivia is the bilingual clerk at Arizona Middle School and has worked at Arizona for over 16 years. During this time, Olivia has done everything in the office from answering phone calls, registering students, inputting student information in ARIES, and organizing the student cumulative records, just to name a few. Simply put, Olivia knows how to do all aspects of the main office. It is because of her extensive knowledge of everything at Arizona Middle School that she is the person that Arizona staff members turn to when they have a question or need assistance. Additionally, Olivia is extremely hardworking, dedicated, professional, and has an uncanny memory. She literally remembers everything from past students and parents to specific dates or conversations from years ago. Above everything though, Olivia is a very caring and loving person who is kind and genuine to every student, parent, teacher, and staff member. She treats everyone with compassion and respect and goes above and beyond to assist the entire Arizona community. It is a great pleasure to honor Olivia Perez as the Auburn Unified School District Classified Employee of the Month for January 2021. Congratulations, Olivia.
Hey,
And
congratulations.
is she here? I don't see.
Yeah, she let me know that she is watching right now. She sent me.
Okay. In that case, Ms. Perez, congratulations. You're greatly appreciated for everything that you do for the school. The board and community thank you for all the years that you have dedicated to the district, and parents and the students. And I'm sure the school runs a little bit more smoother because you're there. So again, once again, congratulations on being Classified Employee of the Month.
Vega, may I?
Dr. Dorado?
Yes, I just want to say, I know Ms. Perez is not here with us right now, but if you're watching, I just want to say what a beautiful family. Thank you for sharing those pictures that we're seeing right now. in the wall. And I just want to say, I recognize people in the pictures. So that goes to show your community is really close knit. I recognize the young lady in the white shirt. So if all your family is watching, congratulations. And we're so proud of of Olivia tonight.
Madam President, may I?
Go ahead.
I know that Jeff thinks I come there to see him when I visit Arizona, but the truth is the warm reception that everyone gets when they walk into that office, Olivia's just a big part of it. There's a text here on our chat line from Lori Prather, who says, Olivia is always there for all of us. She truly deserves this with a big heart. So congratulations, Olivia. Again, we could not do the work we do without everyone that's being honored here tonight, and everyone else who isn't being honored here tonight that we certainly could honor as well. And what a beautiful family. Does that picture just take your breath away? Oh my gosh. Well, God bless and congratulations.
Congratulations, Olivia. And our final honoree that's being recognized tonight is our Volunteer of the Month. This is Mr. Sergio Argrello. That's a picture of him with his wife. Congratulations, Sergio.
He's wonderful.
Arizona Middle School is proud to recognize Sergio as the Auburn Unified School District Volunteer of the Month for January 2021. Sergio is a pastor at the Inland Empire Church of Christ and is being recognized for volunteering countless hours towards planning, organizing, and completing the amazing beautification projects at Arizona Middle School. This past year, Arizona Middle School was selected as the 2020 Hope Worldwide MLK Day of Service recipient. As a result, over 300 volunteers donated their time, effort, and many items to transform the Arizona Middle School campus. The beautification projects included a mural at the front of the school, an updated main office, an updated conference room, new paint and field turf installed in the main quad, a new staff lounge, which included new furniture, and a new student lounge, which included a foosball table, ping pong table, and an arcade-style basketball game. None of these items could have been accomplished without the selfless, caring, and loving dedication and support of the IE Church of Christ, Hope Worldwide, and Mr. Sergio. It is a great pleasure to honor Sergio as the Auburn Unified School District Volunteer of the Month for January 2021. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Yay! Congratulations.
Congratulations to Sergio. And I don't see him on here either, but if he's watching, just want to let you know that when I look back at my elementary and middle school days, I remember the volunteers who would show up, and they're part of the reason that made my time there so memorable. So thank you so much for volunteering and going out of your way to be involved and help create a beautiful environment for our students and staff at Arizona. So we really appreciate you, and once again, congrats.
May I, Madam President?
Yes, go ahead.
Last week when I wrote to our community on the eve of Martin Luther King Day, it struck me that it was a year ago when things were normal that we were able to do this sort of work thanks to Mr. Arguello and members of his flock and others who participated in an incredible transformation. And this is certainly beyond the call of duty. It's a wonderful thing that was bestowed upon us. So yes, thank you so much for choosing us, first of all, to do this work, because I know that you're also doing this work at other places. So there's other families, other communities, other children who are also benefiting from the commitment that you make on behalf of your organization. So Mr. Arguello, thank you from the absolute bottom of our hearts.
Congratulations once again. And that concludes all of our recognitions. And once again, I just would like to thank you all for allowing us to be here and present a little bit about Arizona Middle School and recognize these amazing individuals. And we hope that everyone has a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy to see everyone here, and hopefully we'll get to celebrate in person when safe to do so.
Yes, Jeff, thank you for your leadership. Again, all of the stars tonight were able to work and do what they do because of the environment that you've created there. Your warmth, your affection, your passion for what you do, it just trickles down to the entire school. So thank you for what you do and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Way to go, Arizona.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Arizona. We love you, Jeff. You're awesome. You're awesome.
Okay, well, this brings us to agenda item number 7, Board of Education and Superintendent comments. Let's start off with Trustee Wilson.
Oh, okay, great. This is great because then I'll talk about congratulations to the Arizona family. Yay!
Yes.
Wonderful. You guys are amazing. And this is what it's about. This is what it's about, as you know, representing and enjoying and recognizing you for all your hard work. It's incredible. This is what we miss too. We want to be in person, and we will be in person very soon, I hope. And like Lizette said, or President Vega said, we will all be coming back and having a huge party and just recognizing and sharing this wonderful achievement with everybody in the room, in the boardroom. So I'm looking forward to that. We just miss this, and we miss the in-person hugs and smiles and sharing this one-on-one. So we'll do it though, Jeff. We'll do it with you and your team over there, and we'll do it. And again, just to mark the MLK Day, the Hope Worldwide, that was one amazing thing. That was probably one of the most powerful events for me, other than, you know, Julie and I got a little dirty, which was fun, you know, together. And, but I mean, it was just the impact of being around such incredible people that wanted to give so much to our school district and to your school, in just out of just love, and everybody there felt it. So I thank you so much for having us there a year ago. It does seem like a year ago, to tell you the truth, but I wish it was today that we had the pleasure to do it again, because it really did. It was one of the highlights of my boardship throughout my years. It was that impactful for me. So I love it. And I can't wait to be back on your campus. And I'm hanging out with Robert next time he comes for In-N-Out, because I didn't know we had In-N-Out on your campus, and I'm coming. That's all there is to it. So I look forward to that. I look forward to going to all of our schools and being present again. I miss everybody. I miss everybody. I just, before I sign off for my comments, I do want to remind everybody that there is a great need out there. So please, Alvord Cares is up and running. And if you need anything, if you need, you know, especially food, because that's what we do the most, please reach out to your counselors, and they will contact us, and we will make sure that you will get what you need as soon as possible. So please reach out. We are here for you, even though we're not physically there at KPC right now, but we will make sure that the need is met and that we are taking care of our families and what they need to get by through these difficult times. Other than that, I just want to say everybody stay safe and be well. And again, congratulations to Jeff and your team at Arizona. Muchly appreciated for everything you guys do, and can't wait to give you a big squeeze. So those are my board comments. Thank you very much, President Lizette, Vega.
Thank you, Trustee Wilson. Now for Trustee Schwant.
Oh, Robert, you're muted. Oh,
How's that?
That's
Perfect.
fair.
Okay. You know, after that joke I told, I wanted to mute so I didn't get into another one. So, first off, tonight's the happy celebration, especially for Arizona and what the school is doing for our district. I mean, when you get something that's going on, and what they're doing there is not just in-house, they're outreaching into the community, and the community is helping them as well. And then that spreads to their contacts in the community. So Jeff, congratulations to you and your team and everything that's going on over there at Arizona. The other part is we had Councilman Perry that was here, and there's a question I want to follow up with him on, but as he was talking, you can see how he's in tune with not only what's going on in the city, and he shares that with us, but he knows what schools or in what area and what they're involved with. It's like the Myra Lynn. He knows that the mural that was there, he was instrumental in doing that. And so the recognition for that, he's right on it. And he follows up, and that's a prize that we have within our district, our councilman helping out. And we get that same support from Steve Hemingway as well. So we're very fortunate. And the last thing I would want to mention is the COVID that we're going through right now and all the issues surrounding that. Our teachers have stepped up to learn about online learning, online teaching, and that's not easy. And they've done a great job with that. And even though our students miss the social togetherness and emotional support, they're getting what they need as far as the academic part of it. And that's really what we can provide right now. If there is a need, rest assured for those that aren't on the board where we talk about it, that there is that support available for them outside the academics through our counselors who are available as well. So until we get all back into the realm of getting used to what the new normal is going to be, we are pulling it all together, doing the best we can for our students, because bottom line, regardless of what's happening in the community, what's happening with our teachers, it really goes to what's the best value, what can we do to help our students? And that's what we need to focus on. So thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Trustee Schwant. Now for Trustee Dorado.
I just want to take a moment to welcome all our teachers back, all our staff members, our students, our families back into this second semester, or really our first meeting. Today is our first meeting of 2021 school year. I just want to welcome you back, because I know even though we had a hopefully restful winter break to just kind of just get some really emotional, physical, and mental rest. I just hope that some of you had that reflection time to just come back rested, because I can tell you this, that I know a lot of us have been affected by COVID, whether we know somebody that has had it or we know someone that has it right now. So I just hope that when we're coming back, we're coming back safely. I know that COVID fatigue is a real thing, and during our county, you just seen that pandemic spike, and I hear that our numbers are starting to slightly go to the right direction. So with the vaccine being around the corner, I just hope the message to our families and our staff and our teachers is that please just stay safe. And I just want to welcome you back to a new semester. I also wanted to bring to the attention of everybody is that we as a board are committed to the safety of all our families, our students, our teachers, our staff, our management. So I know there's some government, the governor's rolling out some new guidelines, and we really hope to hear how we're gonna be implementing things to make sure that it's safe and that everything's safe when we come back, And then I just want to congratulate all our staff, our teachers, and our management, our leadership that has been working so hard, and they continue to work hard past this into the second semester, because I'm already seeing emails come in. We get emails from our parent engagement that they're back on it. They're getting their meetings back on. We're even seeing some drive-through celebrations for students that have excellent GPAs this past semester. I'm just starting to see, everybody kind of coming back. I even in my personal time, I as a high school counselor, I want to congratulate all our counselors that we're going to be recognizing you next month for Counselor National Counseling Week, because I know you're working so hard to make sure that our seniors are getting everything they need to recover credits, to make sure they're still on track for their graduation at the end of the school year. I know you're working, all counselors in our district are working with challenges with mental and emotional health to support our staff. So I want to congratulate you for that. And I know you're still putting in that financial aid, FAFSA, college prep time for all our students as well. So as we gear up for this semester, I know everybody is working with what we have, our means, and I know you're doing it well, and I know that you want us to go back, but you're doing it in a virtual way. So it brings happiness to me to know that we're doing virtual this, virtual that, but we're starting to get a hang of this, right? Second semester, it's all virtual, but we're celebrating our kids, we're celebrating our community, and that's why it's so important that Jeff brought Arizona, because when all those pictures really did bring tears to my eyes, thinking, wow, it wasn't too long ago that we remodeled whole Arizona and people were so close. I saw this Trustee Wilson and Trustee Moreno, and in that world, that life where we're right next to each other is just, it seems like it was just yesterday, right? We were standing right next to each other. There wasn't that distance. So it really did bring tears to my eyes to know that it just didn't seem so long ago. And that's what we're yearning for that closeness. And hopefully we'll get that sometime soon with the vaccine, and that we just have to kind of keep in mind that we're going to be doing that when it's safe to do it. And that's all my comments, President Wills. Vega, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Dorado. Up next, Trustee Moreno.
Thank you so much. I really enjoy being able to go last because my colleagues are brilliant and they say everything that needs to be said. So I would like to just celebrate Arizona and all of the amazing honorees this evening. When you were reading, and thank you for just taking the time, and you could really tell that so much of your heart went into what you wrote this evening. And there's a reason for it. You have an amazing team, amazing students, the best families. And as you were reading all of Daisy's accomplishments, I was blown away. And I'm sure the rest of our panelists here were equally blown away. What an impressive young lady. I cannot wait, as President Vega had shared, can't wait to see what the future holds for this young lady. And as we saw just yesterday, sky's the limit for our young ladies in our country. And I'm excited to see what the possibilities are for her and so many of our students. So congratulations to all of you. It is wonderful to celebrate. Cannot wait for the moments where we can celebrate in person once again. But just because we're absent in the physical realm does not mean we're absent in heart. So congratulations and thank you all for your dedication and hard work, because these celebrations only happen when we are all doing such amazing things for amazing children. So I'm just really excited. MLK, wow, those pictures came up on my Facebook memories the other day. So it's nice that that was something that you included in your presentation. So well deserved for your school. Exciting things are happening throughout the whole entire district. So thank you again for your leadership, your dedication, and your support, each and every one of you. Other than that, I got to pop into family engagement again this week, which that department has just really flourished. It's just thriving. So I really am excited for all the continued workshops that we're going to continue to have as the year progresses. So thank you to Alejandro and his amazing opportunities for our families. And thank you for our families for actually logging in. It's been great. And that actually leads me to, I was invited to participate in La Sierra High School. They had a principal's coffee, and I'm thinking, I wonder how many people are going to show. My curiosity got to that. It was fantastic. And again, a true compliment to our families who want to stay connected and informed, and a true testament to our leadership that are thinking outside of the box on how can we stay connected in an environment where we feel so disconnected from each other. So again, just so impressed and blessed to be a part of Alvord. Other than that, just please continue to stay safe and be well. Our hearts and prayers are with everyone who is dealing with not just COVID, but so many of the COVID symptoms in regards to the other things that it leads to, right? So just know that you're in our hearts and our prayers, and we are only a phone call and a text or an email away. Every single one of my colleagues, cabinet, the whole district, we are here to serve you. That is our main priority, and it's our pleasure and an honor to be able to do that. So please reach out. And again, thank you so much to my colleagues. You all are incredible, and proud of Al Board. So thank you so much, President Vega. And that's all for me this evening.
Thank you, Trustee Moreno. So yeah, my turn. Looking at the pictures from Arizona, I think I have to update my background. I think it's a little old, but for next time, I'll change it for next time. And one thing that I did want to touch, and Julie, Trustee Moreno mentioned earlier, was the family engagement. We started off, we've already had 2 this year, and the first one of the year was managing stress and anxiety for healthy families. And I wanted to talk about that because I think that's very important. I know when we come back, not only are we going to have to address the learning gap, but also the social and emotional well-being of our students. And to have that workshop for our families to be able to identify the symptoms and causes of stress and anxiety, it helped me, and I sent it out to some of my friends. Hey, these are some breathing exercises that you can do, because it happens to everybody, and there's no shame in it, because it does happen to everyone. So I wanted to point that out. Thank you to Alejandro Cisneros from Family Engagement and Tanya Gillick, the mental health coordinator, for putting that together. Another thing that I wanted to share was, let me see if I have, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. So we were talking about Daisy and how she is an incredible young lady. And so that brings me to the 25 most remarkable teens put on by the Riverside Youth Council. The awards come from the mayor's office. And so last year we had a couple of Auburn students presented during city council. And so anyone that is of high school age and lives in the city of Riverside, you're able to nominate them for that. So if you want to take a picture of this, I know the link's down there in the picture, because we want to represent. So we want to make sure that Auburn is represented when we present these awards during city council. And I know that Daisy keeps up her good work, which I know she will. She will most likely be part of this in a few years. So now I'm gonna, stop sharing my screen. And I think that is all for me. Superintendent, if you have any comments.
I do, believe it or not, have some comments. Again, Jeff, you, Natalie, and your team, fabulous work. There are all kinds of comments from Arizona community members, teachers, staff, others who got on there and said, we love our leadership team, we love our school, and well, they should. It's a wonderful school, and it, again, makes us all sad in that we miss your school. We miss your smiling face. We miss being out and among our children. And again, we get to celebrate the incredible work that our young people are doing, that our teachers are doing, that our staff are doing, while keeping in mind those, of course, who are struggling at these difficult times. And I just can't write or talk or address anyone without ensuring that the voices of those who right now are not being heard are being heard, as Dr. Dorado and Ms. Wilson and Trustee Schwant, Vega, and Moreno said, we're here for you, and we have the services, we have the connections to ensure that if we can't directly serve, we could connect you to someone who can. And the engagement office has done a great job of outreach. Our principals have done a great job of outreach. Our counselors, all of the home visits that we've done. I believe that when this is all behind us, we will be a better community. We will be a better nation, coming together for the betterment of something much, much larger than us as individuals. So I'm optimistic that there's bright days ahead. And I'm sticking to that because we will get through this. And we will be able to help those who we know are struggling. There is a mental health crisis. Make no mistake about that. It's a national problem. It's real. So many children who are getting services in their home or at school, obviously they're not getting them. And it's now starting to build up. And now the problems are manifesting. And it's a helpless feeling. So to our counselors, our student services team, our principals, our teachers, those who were used to being there for kids, you can't. You see them and you want to reach out and it's a picture on a screen. If that, maybe it's just a black spot and metaphorically represents the feeling that we have. I don't want to bum anyone out, but I just want us all to think we all could be better. We all could do more. We all could continue to fight COVID together, stay together, get through this, and there will be brighter days ahead. So anything you could do to help is greatly appreciated. There is no contribution that isn't appreciated by this organization. With that, Madam President, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Muserino, and thank you, board, for your beautiful comments. That leads us to the consent agenda. Your superintendent recommends approval of consent agenda items 8A1 through 8D10. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted upon by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board request specific items to be discussed and or removed from the consent agenda. Are there any items that the board wants to discuss or remove? No?
None for me.
Okay. In that case, may I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Trustee Wilson.
Second.
Okay, second Trustee Moreno. Any further discussion? Anything? No? Okay, let's go to a vote. Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Schwant. Okay. Trustee Dorado.
Aye.
Trustee Moreno.
Aye.
Trustee Schwant.
Aye.
And myself is an aye. Okay, so that is passed. Moving on to action items. To report out action items taken in closed session, here is Trustee Moreno.
Thank you so much, President Vega. The Board of Education took action this evening in the recommendation to readmit expulsion case 2018-19-88. The vote is 5-0 as recommended. Motion by President Vega and seconded by Ms. Wilson. Expulsion case number 2019-20-54 as recommended, 5-0. Motion President Vega, seconded by Trustee Wilson. Expulsion case number 2019-20-OD11 as recommended, vote 5-0. Motion by President Vega and seconded by Trustee Wilson. Board of Education also took action this evening in regards to liability claim number 20-21-200. The Board of Education took action to accept this liability claim. The vote was ayes, Vega, Dorado, Marino, Schwant, and Wilson. Motion by Ms. Wilson and seconded by Mr. Schwant. That concludes the actions that were taken in closed session.
Thank you so much, Trustee Moreno. Moving on to business services, 9B1, adopt resolution number 33, computer discount warehouse government piggyback/cooperative agreement. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Schwant. Can I have a second? Okay. Second by Trustee Dorado. Any discussion? No? Okay, seeing none. Let's go to a vote. Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Schwant.
Aye.
Trustee Moreno.
Aye.
Trustee Dorado.
Aye.
And myself is an aye. So motion passes. Moving on to Educational Services, 9C1, presentation on Local Control Accountability Plan. Handing it over to Dr. DeVore.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Nice to see you. I have access to the screen. Thank you so much, Mario. All right, if everyone could see my screen okay, I will go ahead and begin. Thank you, Dr. Kemp. So good evening, President Vega, board members, Superintendent Musarino, cabinet, and members of the audience. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in updating the board and the community on the development of our 2021-2024 Local Control Accountability Plan, or LCAP. I know that you have a very busy agenda this evening to address some essential topics. So I promise to keep this brief, as I will be coming several more times throughout the next 5 to 6 months to provide updates on our LCAP. So we're going to begin this time together with a short video on what is the LCAP. This is the same video that has already been shared with the community during our parent advisory committees, our district English learner advisory committees, our LCAP advisory meetings, in addition to site ELAC or English learner advisory committees, school site councils, and various parent organization meetings. I will follow this up with our efforts towards teamwork and collaboration, a general timeline, and our process of stakeholder engagement and input. So everyone, get out your popcorn for our short video.
This video provides an overview of the Auburn Unified School District Local Control Accountability Plan, or LCAP. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the Local Control Funding Formula, commonly referred to as LCFF, and the Local Control Accountability Plan, commonly referred to as the LCAP. If you're watching this, you're most likely a parent, family member, staff member, student, or community member. Your knowledge will assist you in giving the input Auburn Unified School District needs to write the LCAP that reflects the needs of our students, staff, and overall community. This presentation will assist you in understanding both the funding and the LCAP requirements. California schools are funded under a system called the Local Control Funding Formula. The intent of the system is for local school districts to have more say on how they spend state funds. Part of the legislation that governs the funding requires each district to write a 3-year plan called the Local Control Accountability Plan, or the LCAP. So let's start with the funding itself. Local control funds are composed of 3 types of sources. The base grant is tied to how many students attend our district. The other 2 types of funds are supplemental and concentration, which are generated by English learners, foster youth, and low-income students. For funding purposes, these students are often referred to as unduplicated students. This is because even if they are in more than one of the specifically funded groups, they're only counted once. LCFF supplemental dollars are intended to ensure equitable achievements for all student groups. The legislation provides extra funding for LCFF unduplicated students who have historically shown lower achievement scores and metrics such as graduation rate, test scores, and completion of classes that qualify students to attend California universities directly from high school. School districts have flexibility with funds, which allow for supplemental funds to be spent district-wide. However, even with flexibility, the district has to show that when funds are spent district-wide, how the use of these funds are principally directed at improving achievement for unduplicated LCFF students. In general, base grant funds are used for salaries, benefits, and operating expenses, while supplemental funds may be used for professional development, intervention, and school climate programs. Now on to the plan, or the LCAP. The LCAP identifies 8 priority areas as metrics to measure the quality of an educational program. These 8 priorities are basic services, pupil achievement, pupil engagement, course access, implementation of state standards, parent involvement, the school climate, and other student outcomes. The LCAP is made up of 3 parts. Part 1 is stakeholder input section. Part 2 contains both the goals section and annual report. In the goals section, we list the actions and services that we will perform to ensure that goals are met. Section 3 is a narrative explaining the use of supplemental funds. While all parts are important, your particular attention should be paid to the goals, actions, and services. This is where you, as a parent, staff member, student, and community member, add what is needed. So looking at the goals, actions, and services, please consider these questions. Do we continue the current actions and services? What are our local priorities? What more do we need to do? What goals, actions, and services require more discussion? Are the goals, actions, and services appropriate? And are we implementing our goals, actions, and services fully? Over the next several months, there will be many ways for you to share your thoughts with us. First, you are invited to join the LCAP advisory meetings happening via Zoom on December 9th, February 17th, and April 21st. Please watch for the flyer with specifics of this meeting on your school and district websites, email, and peach jar. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about our LCAP. If you have any questions, feel free to contact those listed on this slide or speak with your site principal. With your voice and your ideas, today's students will be tomorrow's leaders.
All right, thank you for that. Alvord Unified School District is committed to collaborating on this process. This year, we have developed a team focused on the needs of our students, from members of educational services, from student services, English learner services, special education, equity and access, family engagement, fiscal, and representation from each site level. In addition, this process is not done without the work of stakeholder engagement at both the site and district levels via parent meetings, LCAP advisory meetings, and the thought exchange that I will share with you in just a moment. This slide provides a general overview of what is upcoming. Currently and through the spring, sites will continue to seek input from the parent advisory groups and councils. The LCAP team will develop actions based on the input, data, and fiscal resources, and we will gather additional data to support our local performance indicators referenced in the video. Today, we're having a board update will also occur again on March 18th and May 20th. While these are scheduled updates, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any specific questions and or need additional information. We have 2 more LCAP advisory meetings scheduled for February 17th, where we will be discussing local indicators, and April 21st, where we will provide specific actions and seek input from our community. Also in February, I'll be sharing a presentation on the LCAP with both of our classified and certificated associations. Lastly, I will be returning to you on June 3rd for public hearing of both the LCAP and our annual update, and then again on June 17th for board approval of each. For the latest on the annual update, California Department of Education has asked that all local education agencies to submit an annual update report that includes a response of both our 1920 LCAP and our learning continuity and attendance plan that you approved earlier this fall. We hope to have the template from CDE for this document by the end of the month to begin that work. As shared, we'll be having 3 LCAP meetings this school year. We had 1 successful meeting already on December 9th. We also have a meeting on February 17th to discuss the local indicators and April 21st to discuss input on actions. Due to our current climate of safe practices, all of these sessions will be via Zoom. The flyer with the Zoom information is posted on our district website. In addition, please reach out to school sites for specifics. I will end this update by letting you know that we're seeking stakeholder engagement at this time, and we want input via our thought exchange that asks the question, what are your thoughts and questions about LCAP, and what are the most important things to focus on as we continue our work to support all students? This thought exchange can be found using the link listed on the screen. If you already have the thought exchange app on your phone or device, you can provide input using the code 196005056. And then the best feature is simply using your camera to scan the QR code that you see on the screen. You simply place your phone near the screen with your camera of the QR code, and it'll take you straight to the thought exchange question shared earlier. Your input and the input of the entire community is valuable, and we look forward to hearing from our community. Thank you, and if there are any questions, myself or Cabinet would be happy to answer.
Thank you, Dr. DeVore. Are there any clarifying questions from the board? No? Okay.
No, I don't have any clarifying questions, but just a comment, Emily, about the layout and the presentation. I really appreciated how it was done. Very clear, very easy to follow, and I do appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Schwant.
Yes, thank you very much. And I hope to see our parents and students, community members attending these meetings. So hope to see everyone there. Your input does matter. And just like the slide said, your voice matters. So don't forget that.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thanks, Emily.
Okay. So may I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Schwant and second by Dr. Dorado. Any discussion? No? Okay, let's go to vote. Trustee Wilson?
Aye.
Trustee Schwant?
Aye.
Trustee Moreno?
Aye.
Trustee Dorado?
Aye.
And myself is an aye. Motion passes. Moving on to 9C2, adopt resolution number 34, National School Counselor Week. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Oh, got three of us.
Okay, well, yeah. Any discussion? No. Okay. I would like to say something, and I maybe should have done it for my board comments, but I would like to thank all counselors for being there for our students during this pandemic. And I want to give a big shout out to one of our Novi counselors, Ms. Priscilla Grijalva, for being nominated as a Life Changer of the Year by an anonymous student.
Wow.
In this, the student did write a little comment, and I'm going to read it to you. Ms. Grijalva has not only changed my life, but the lives of countless others, said the nominator. She constantly has new, engaging ideas to help the students at our school. I can always count on her support and assistance, even during the breaks when she is not obligated to help us. She always goes above and beyond to provide us with the resources we need. Without her, I'm not sure I would be where I am today. I have so many more skills and resources now, thanks to her. And I wanted to read this because I know that it's not just Ms. Grijalva, but many of our counselors here at the district. And it's nice to know that our students are doing so much better because of our counselors. So that is it for me. If anyone else wants to say anything.
That's exciting. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. What an exciting honor. I can only imagine. I know Dr. Dorado, you are blessed in that capacity as a counselor yourself. To know that you're able to do what you're passionate about and change children's lives to where they feel moved to nominate you for such a prestigious honor. That's exciting. A lot of good work's happening here. So I'm glad, and thank you to President Vega for sharing that with all of us.
Yeah, thank you, President Vega, for stating those touching words, because it's truly so many counselors in our district are doing, similar work, because when you're passionate for something like school counseling, it's true. It's easy to work beyond your contractual hours. It's easy to lose the evenings or weekends to these students because we're so passionate about it. So Thank you for sharing that with us, and a well-deserved honor to be having National Counselor Week next month. So
Awesome. Okay, so we already, do we have, okay, yeah, so let's go to vote. Trustee Wilson,
Aye.
Trustee Schwant,
Aye.
Trustee Moreno,
Aye.
Trustee Dorado,
aye.
and myself is an aye. Motion passes. Moving on to 9C3, adopt resolution number 35, time and effort procedures during extraordinary circumstances. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Moreno.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, second, Trustee Wilson. Any discussion? No? Okay. With that, we'll go to a vote. Trustee Wilson,
Aye.
Trustee Schwant,
Aye.
Trustee Moreno,
Aye.
Trustee Dorado,
Aye.
and myself is an aye. Motion passes. On to 9C4, review proposed revisions to board policies and administrative regulations. And we will be waiving the second reading. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, move Trustee Moreno. Just 1 second.
I'll second.
Okay. And second by Trustee Wilson. Any discussion? No? Okay. Let's go to a vote. Trustee Wilson,
Aye.
Trustee Schwant,
Aye.
Trustee Moreno,
Aye.
Trustee Dorado,
Aye.
and myself is an aye. Motion passes. On to human resources. 9D1, approve personnel order number 10-2020-2021.
So moved.
Okay. Moved by Trustee Schwant.
I'll second.
Second, Trustee Dorado. Any discussion? No? Okay. Let's go to a vote. Trustee Wilson,
Aye.
Trustee Schwant,
Aye.
Trustee Moreno,
Aye.
Trustee Dorado,
Aye.
and myself is an aye. Okay, well then that brings us to discussion information items. 10A, business services. 10A1, overview of the 2021-22 governor's state budget proposal. And I'm handed over to our CBO, Dusty.
Thank you so much, President Vega. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to share my screen for just a very short PowerPoint. Okay, everybody see that?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, great. So just a really short and brief presentation on some of the governor's proposals that were issued in his proposed state budget that came out less than 2 weeks ago. So 2 areas that I want to cover will be just the school reopening plan, the dollars that are put together, that some of those specific requirements, more on the business side than the educational side, which Dr. Musarino will be covering in just a few minutes. And then 6 or 7 of the major budget proposals that are included in the governor's proposed budget. So let's talk about that school reopening. So it's really built on these 4 pillars. 1, there is funding available. It is $2 billion. It is just for us getting back in school. So to provide additional dollars for in-person instruction. So many of you have heard $450. We get to add supplemental and concentration dollars. That is if we return our TK2 kids to school by February 16th. It's prorated if we go a little bit later than that. So the goal is for mid-March. And so there's $2 billion available. It breaks down to $450 per student plus some supplemental concentration dollars. There is certainly safety built into this plan. And so many of this we've already done. There's requirements for COVID testing, having personal protective equipment, and then just prioritization on vaccinations. Oversight, there will be many people looking at what this, our safe school and our in-person instruction will look like. So there's lots of statewide agencies that will be looking at all of our COVID safety plans, as well as having information available on a state dashboard and a hotline for parents who have concerns related to in-person instruction. So to be in line for funding, We have a February 1st date that is coming up very quickly, and it is to submit your COVID safety plan, or that CSP. It needs to be submitted to the County Office of Education, as well as be in line with our county public health officials, all related to our TK 12 schools. Two dates that they're looking at is the February 16th, which is right after the President's Day, and then mid-March for a second student group to come back to in person. There's some testing requirements, as we talked about, collective bargaining requirements, and then it also addresses not only grade level, but also specific student groups, our at-risk students, our students with disabilities. We can use the funds if we get our application in, our plan submitted, and then we're able to come back for in-person instruction for COVID testing, the PPE that I mentioned, the personal protection equipment, making sure that we have very safe schools by ventilation, air conditioning, air scrubbers. Some of that provides for teachers, classified staff that's going to do that in-person instruction, and then addressing, of course, the social and mental health issues that we're recognizing that our students and our families are having right now. There is a very major hurdle that we will need to overcome. So the target is to be able to open is to have 28 positive COVID cases for every 100,000. In Riverside County on January 12th, we were at 107. And so that is certainly a very formidable hurdle that we will need to be looking at, one that we don't have control over, but it is part of the plan and the proposal.
Dusty,
so now, yes, absolutely.
Does that mean there won't be any school districts in Riverside County that apply because we don't meet the guideline?
So we want to apply so that we have the option should our cases and that target rate go down.
Okay.
If we don't apply and we don't get our plan submitted, we're not in line for the funding.
Thank you, Dusty, for the clarification. That was my question too. If we were, are we, I guess the follow-up is, are we in line to meeting those timeline for the application?
Actually, Dr. Musarino will address that in the next presentation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, then I have just some information on some of the major proposals that were in the governor's budget. These are all related to 2021-22, so next July. They are proposals at this time. We will have a May revise, or in May we will get a revision to what these proposals might look like. And then the state budget is to be adopted by June 30th. So the first one is, and you'll notice in here, they're very big dollars because I'm giving you that very high overview. Next board meeting, I will bring it down to the Alvord level so I can tell you exactly what does it look like for Alvord if we're looking at receiving some of these dollars. You'll also notice that while we're talking millions and billions, much of this is one-time dollars just to address the situation that we're in right now. So there is $4.6 billion in one-time dollars just to look at expanding the instructional time or looking at intervention grants to be able to address our at-risk students or those supplemental concentration students that Dr. DeVore just talked about. She did a beautiful job about explaining that. Now I don't have to. And so these dollars are really targeted at those students in particular, and for those strategies just to really look at learning loss. Are we going to extend our school year, our school day, or go into summer school? There's also many one-time grants that are just really investing in our educators, our educational staff. So $250 million looking at something called an Educator Effectiveness Block Grant. We've got $50 million. It's really just looking at professional development, but in the area of trauma and social emotional learning needs. 8.3 million looking at a math initiative, 7 million in partnership with the University of California, and really just looking at those subject matter projects so that we have high quality teachers in those. There will be, there's mention of $100 million of one-time dollars for something called a Golden State Teacher Grant Program, 100 million for teacher residency, and then 25 million for looking at something related to classified employees and moving towards a credentialing program for them. Special education is one of the couple of areas that's looking at some ongoing dollars. So $300 million is not large when it comes to looking at it statewide, but we will have some ongoing dollars for our special education early intervention grants, and those will be ongoing. So that will be very helpful to us as we move forward in addressing our very little special education students, our infants, our toddlers, and our preschoolers. One-time dollars, $5 million, just looking at how can we interact with accessing federal Medi-Cal dollars to, again, help us as we work through some of the social and emotional issues that's coming on. And then there's $500,000 in one time for a study to look at how non-public school placements are happening throughout the state. Student mental health, as we have heard, is certainly something that needs to be addressed. And so there's a mix of federal and state dollars that will work with Department of Healthcare Services and our Medi-Cal programs to try and see how we can address behavioral interaction with the schools. $25 million, that is a partnership grant program, and then some ongoing dollars that really looks at, again, the support of our students in the area of mental health services. Another area that he is proposing is to expand early learning or transitional kindergarten, providing for full day kindergarten, providing for facilities, providing for professional development that are really looking at those very young students and scholars and those English learners, as well as just dealing with our they're just coming into school and the emotional learning that will be going on there. So lots of one-time dollars that are eligible for that as if the budget proposal goes through. Local control funding formula, we have some one-time and ongoing dollars when we have there. So we talk about, when we talk about LCFF or our local control funding formula, we talk about COLA, a cost of living. And so there is a statewide percentage that is applied typically each year. For 2021, it would have been 2.31, but it was not funded in the 2021 state budget. So the governor currently proposes, starting in July of 2021, to not only fund a 1.5% COLA applied to 21-22, but to also provide 2.31% that is the 2021 COLA. So that will be applied to our local control funding formula revenues, which is based on student attendance. So if kids come back to school and we're here and we're able to get these dollars, it will bring additional dollars to support our educational programs. They're also looking at having some additional requirements on the LCAP that Dr. DeVore presented. So there will be some additional overview and review options for the county offices, and then looking at the ending balance requirements and most likely requiring them to be held in the ending balance and then spent in the following year. And then finally, finishing this is talking about apportionment deferral. So really this is a cash borrowing situation for school districts. The state, when the 2020-21 state budget was adopted, they told us, we will not send you February dollars. We will not send you your March dollars, your April dollars, your May dollars, or your June dollars. And that was proposed to happen both in this school year, 2021, and in 21-22. This state budget proposal for 21-22 will only defer our July apportionment. And so for Alvord, that's right around $12 million, $13 million, where this year we're looking at about $32 million. So my last bullet there is the TRAN, or the tax revenue anticipation note borrowing that we brought to board in November, will be happening this February. But when I do my cash flow, I only have to look at deferring June of 22 instead of next February, March, April, May, and June. So that's really good news from a cash perspective. That is a very quick, very broad overview of some of the state proposals. At the next board meeting, I plan to bring a more detailed one and what all of this means to Alvord in particular. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Dusty.
Hi. So Dusty, I'm not sure if this is something that Dr. Musarino is going to answer, but if I was to see this presentation, I mean, as an educator, I'd be like, wow, that's a lot of money coming in, right? It's very optimistic looking for the whole state. That's just a lot of different pockets of money coming into education. You listed several categories, several types of departments. Would these be multiple considerations for our particular district? Would it be like something we would apply for, or would it be just based on the governor's adoption and say this is like a blanket automatic? Like, can you explain a little bit of how those would funnel down to our board?
Right, absolutely. So some of them will be grant initiatives that we will need to apply for. Others will be automatic. Some are based on our ADA. Some are based on Title I dollars. And so they're a whole combination. It's really important to recognize that what I just gave you was the whole state of California, and that right now it is just a proposal. So now it goes to the legislature, it goes back to the legislative analyst's office, and they start picking it apart to see what it is, which is why there's a lot of narrative in this, but not a lot of substance to actually what ends up happening, and what these really mean. And so they're grand ideas, funding that's put behind those grand ideas, and then over the next 4 months, they will be solidified, and then in May, we will have some more structured information relating to each of these different proposals.
Perfect. So that's our timeline.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Dusty, so piggybacking off of Dr. Dorado, what she said, so let's say the special education and the early childhood education, that doesn't fall under the $2 billion that he's talking about for reopening? That is okay.
Yeah, entirely separate.
Okay. And so if we apply, we don't get that money unless we decide to open by whether it's February or March?
At this particular point in time, that is my understanding, and the guidance that we are being provided is that we have those 2 dates to be able to open in order to get the funding, pending legislative approval.
Dusty, I don't know if you mentioned this when you were going over a slide regarding the COLA and the LCFF. The COLA being made whole because there was no COLA this past year. Did you say that do we know at this point if this is any of that contingent to us opening next school year? Does this have anything to do with opening schools?
So the LCFF COLA, the 1.5 and the 2.31 will be based on the local control funding formula. Doesn't have anything to do right now with us reopening, at least as a criteria for receiving those dollars.
Thank you for that clarification.
Okay, thank you. Does any other board members have questions or comments?
No, thank you.
No? Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Dusty. Looking
Thank
forward to see
you.
how that applies to Auburn in the next board meeting. So next up is 10B, Board of Education Superintendent. 10B1, Governor's Safe Schools for All Plan and Reopening Schools Timeline. Dr. Musarino, take it away.
Thank you, Madam President. When we assigned this item back in December as we were planning agendas, we did so because we had intended to open our schools on January 19th. So just a brief recent history lesson. We had attempted to open our schools to start the school year, and then again.
Ellen, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
How about now? Is that better?
No.
Now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, better.
Thank you.
This better? Okay. Okay, so I get a redo, so assuming no one heard me. Let's start with a little context, a recent history lesson. We had planned to open our schools at the beginning of the school year on August 10th. And of course, at that time, we were unable to due to the tier we were in. At that time, it was a different tier system than we currently have, but we then attempted to open schools again in November. And at that time, we had moved into the new tiered system's deepest tier, the dreaded purple tier. So at that point, we went ahead and decided, given the surge and the community that we are working with and protecting, while at the same time trying to educate our children, the Board of Education had the foresight to continue with distant learning for the remainder of the first semester. And then we plan to open on the 19th of January. So we planned this agenda item back then, knowing that we may very well even be open. And if not, then we would talk about what would be the next steps. So at that time, we already knew that the surge from the holidays, it started with Halloween, then Thanksgiving, and then, of course, Christmas, New Year's, and a variety of other celebrations over the holidays, that it was worsening. And, of course, it has continued to move in that direction. So let me know if you could hear this.
Yes. No.
It's low. I can't hear.
Very low.
Can or can?
No.
It's low. Barely hear it.
Cannot hear that? Okay. Well, that's okay. That was the governor's January 8th address, which we sent out to all members of our community, at which time he announced the proposal for the current plan. Well, we have been planning for that. However, today, if you watch the Senate hearing, Senate Budget Committee hearing, the Senate Education Committee, they demonstrated that they are not supportive of this current plan. There are also key stakeholder groups who also have opposed them. And of course, the major urban districts, the largest districts in the state, have already come out and said, we do not support the plan, nor will we apply for these dollars. There's two major parts of the proposal that are the most difficult to implement, or just the dollars coming with them are not enough to make that happen. And that's testing students once or twice a week. That's obviously one of the biggest challenges. And how you would actually do that logistically and be able to satisfy the requirement. Because if you don't do that, then you would not get the $450 to $700, which the governor is trying to incentivize school districts to open. So today, so the governor put the legislature on a 2-week timeline to try to get this done. So what Dusty just presented was that part of that proposal. However, after today's hearings, it doesn't seem as though the timeline will be possible to be met. So I can't speak totally on that. This is just how I'm interpreting it and talking with our lobbyists about it. It does not seem as though it's going to be possible. Given that, let me still share what it looks like and what it's all about. So could you see this screen?
No.
No.
There's
Okay.
nothing up yet.
Okay. Is it up now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm having trouble with my internet here, unfortunately. Okay. So the cases are not loaded in here, but we are, here we go. Our new cases are currently at 148. The adjusted rate is approximately 95 as of today. Under the new guidelines, we would have to be at 25 or fewer to qualify to open elementary schools only. So the governor proposed that if your county meets 25 or fewer adjusted cases, right now we're at 95. This is the overall. It's adjusted for a 7-day period, and that's the number they utilize. And that currently is at about 96. If it gets to 25 or fewer, under the governor's proposal, then school districts would be able to open if they were able to meet the criteria, which includes testing students no less than once a week, which again, many districts, the largest districts said we just can't do it. It's impossible. Particularly with $450 extra per student, or even if it was on the higher end. So that's been firmly rejected by the large districts, and apparently today by both the Senate Education Committee and the Senate Budget Committee. So if the governor's proposal is not valid and it's going to have to change, then it reverts back to the original tiered system, which means you cannot open a school until you're in the red tier, which means that the adjusted case rate would be 7. Again, it's at 95 today. You'd have to go down to 7 or fewer. You'd have to be basically out of the purple tier. So when we look at the potential for that, trying to get this out of the way here. Okay, so if you look at this graphic I have, these trend lines, back here in early November when we were planned to open, it was down at a number overall in the state that extrapolated to somewhere around the red tier for most counties. Based on this one current projection, that time will come sometime in April, sometime in the middle of April. Now, this is simply a projection. However, it's been accurate. So this is part of the governor's framework. K-6 schools and counties in the purple tier will have to have the adjusted rate less than 25. So if you're more than 25, then you may not reopen until you get down to that amount. So that's currently where we are in this process, which is preparing an application, which we have done. We have all of the appropriate safety measures in place. The only thing that we do not have in place is the testing plan. That's in the process of being executed. However, that's really just a matter of agreeing on who would be our provider that we would work with. There's a number of organizations that are doing this work. If you are able to meet that criteria on the county level, which is 25 cases or fewer, you could still open if you follow the guidelines which specifically speak to the regular testing. Now, that is in consultation with your associations and with the local health authority. So a lot of caveats. And again, I had intended to discuss this moving forward tonight. However, today, given the budget hearings, the subcommittee hearings, I have a feeling that in the next day or two, they're going to either extend that timeline or they're going to scrap it completely. But what's important for our community, for our staff, for everyone is to know what it is that we're going to be doing. And for planning purposes, obviously, it's critical that we look at some key dates. So let me share some key dates as well, because I think this is really what the board needs to consider. I suggest when we come back for our meeting on the 4th, we'll likely know at that point whether or not the plan, they're going to figure out how they're going to adjust the governor's proposal or what's going to be different. At this point, some of the key dates, February is kind of hard to believe that we're going to be even close to 25 or fewer, even if that's viable at that time. Our winter, our President's Week is the 8th to the 15th. So when we returned on the 18th, that was one of the ideas that we had possibly to open, but it doesn't seem like that's even close to being a possibility. Even if this proposal moves forward, it's hard to believe we will be at 25 or fewer at that time. We'll know more when we meet on February 4th. The other key dates then after that is the 9th of April when we end the quarter. That would be a logical progression. That's also around the time that I mentioned here on our map, right around the 18th or so. You could see that the number is approximately close to where it was back in October before we went into the purple. So for people planning ahead, and again, this is not in concrete, we'll know more on the 4th, but for people planning ahead, you want to have some ideas in your head. I would say that sometime in the middle of April may be a reasonable time that we may be in a position where we're either less than 25 and the proposal has been tweaked and it's something that the Senate will support, or it'll be closer to the 7, which would be utilizing the other tiered system. I mean, this is very, very convoluted. And I'm sure people thinking, oh my gosh, what, my head's going to explode. Yeah, I think we all agree and understand. It doesn't appear that in the next month or two, the governor had proposed February 16th. It's hard to believe that even if the proposal moves forward, that Riverside County will be below 25 by then. The next date proposed was the 25th or the 15th rather of March to add upper elementary. Hard to believe that will be under the 25, although who knows, that could happen. However, if the proposal is not in place, then the whole 25 thing doesn't mean anything anymore. It reverts back to the tiered system. And now the number you're looking at is 7, which would put us in the red tier, which we then would be able to open utilizing the typical guidelines that the Department of Public Health has put out without having to test students on a weekly basis. Of course, the expense of that is prohibitive as well, but the incentive from the state budget, the $2 billion, was for that purpose. So again, we'll know more on the 4th as to whether or not that's going to be a viable option. So for those who were hoping that we would be able to say, okay, we're now going to shoot for this date or that date, I'm afraid to say that we really won't really have a date any sooner than the 4th when we come back to our next board meeting, at which point we'll have more information on this proposal, what will be a next step. We will submit our application unless we hear that there's no reason to. We're going to change the timeline. So in the event it does happen somehow, some way, we will be poised to be able to do that. And the board will at least have the choice of whether or not we want to. It's kind of like a waiver in that regard. I wish I had better news. I've been saying that all year. And it's getting old. And the level of frustration on so many of our families, I know it's rising. We get the messages, we get the calls. I get it. I understand. Right now, this is probably a week away from unfolding, is my guess. You'll read about it tomorrow. We'll know a little more information. My guess is the governor might speak tomorrow on it, and then potentially provide some next steps. Questions?
Board, no questions or comments?
Not a question, just more so a comment that as families, parents continue to reach out and ask, specifically, when are we getting back to school? When are we getting back to school? I really appreciate that now we have more information and a better way to break it down so that they kind of understand, as well as ourselves. So I do appreciate that, because I was just asked at a function at one of the virtual school meetings about how soon can we get our kids back to school. And with all the confusion of every day a new bit of information coming out, it leads for a lot of different viewpoints. So I appreciate that we're constantly putting out information as we get it, because we all want our children to return. We want them to return safely.
Absolutely. And of course, I'll write about this on Friday and Sunday's newsletter, of course, to our community, and try to be a little clearer than I may have been tonight. But until there is direction at the highest level, we're in a holding pattern. And it's frustrating, because we certainly have attempted to open our schools in the past, and we have not been able to. We planned again on the 19th, couldn't do it. Now we're in this place where, okay, here's another possibility. There's some hope. It seems as though perhaps the pandemic may be peaking sometime soon. A lot of discussion about it kind of being in that place, and it's going to be much better than worse because of the vaccination, and everything's going to get better soon, and we'll be in a position, maybe March, maybe April, and that hasn't changed. So if we continue to trend in a positive direction, and we do have members of our community vaccinated, more and more of our staff vaccinated, because the vaccination rollout has not been really smooth either. And I hate to be critical, because it's a huge job, and I know everyone's doing the best they can. But the education reopening rollout and the vaccination rollout have kind of both coming at the same time and have been overwhelming the system. And unfortunately, we kind of sit here and you almost don't know what to say. You're just stuck in the middle, not being able to do what we do, serve our children. So, so if you're out there and you're saying, okay, what is a reasonable date to think that we may be in the red tier or close enough to the red tier where there might be some type of support from the legislature to be able to safely reopen our schools, even if it's for our youngest of children? All these discussions have been for K-6 only. I would say that that date would be somewhere in April. And because we have that natural break, we have our spring break end of March, into early April. Then we have the natural transitionary period, which would be the last quarter beginning. That would be a time where I think would be reasonable, if it's safe to open, to get our kids back together for the last couple months of school. But again, I'm just thinking out loud right here. And I recognize that the frustration that a lot of people are feeling, that's not lost on us, because we're with you. I spoke to a parent recently who was just frustrated with the challenges. And I said, you know, you're preaching to the choir here. We're with you. We are with you. We are lobbying. We've continued to lobby on behalf of opening our schools, doing everything in our power to open our schools. Then, of course, the large districts, which are the tail that wags the dog, proverbially speaking, of course, are pushing back to such a degree that everything is just spinning and up in the air. So it's frustrating. So with that, unless there's any further questions for clarification, Madam President, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miserino. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I will move on to Human Resources, 10C1, Quarterly Report on Williams Uniform Complaints. Dr. Presby.
Thank you, Madam President. We have no William complaints for this past quarter.
Thank you. All right, so agenda items for future board meetings. Do any board members have any agenda items? Nope. Okay, well then, I guess that brings us to the end. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our next board meeting will be on February 4th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Meeting adjourned at 8:01 p.m.
Thank you.